Okay, hello again everyone and good morning. I'd like to welcome you all and thank you for taking the time to join us for our Special Education Bureau webinar on the initial evaluation timeline. I'm here this morning with my colleagues from the CSDE, Michael Tavernier and Natalie Jones from the Bureau of Special Education, and Diane Murphy from the Performance Office. We're happy to see that so many of you are able to participate in this live session. For those stakeholders who are unable to join us live, we'll be recording this webinar so that it will be available for future viewing. I would also like to thank Steve Profit and Greg Glidden from CERC for their support and coordination of this session. Just a few items before we get started. We've allotted 30 minutes for the presentation this morning. All registrants will remain in listen-only mode throughout the presentation, and participants will have an opportunity to submit questions by clicking on the Q&A button on the bottom of your screen. This webinar was designed to provide context and highlight changes in the state's reporting of initial evaluation timeline. As you are now aware, the BSE released a guidance memorandum on Thursday, January 23, 2020. This guidance memorandum replaces the previous guidance that was disseminated on December 21, 2018. The Office of Special Education Programs, the federal agency that oversees the IDEA, received a complaint from a Connecticut constituent regarding the state's initial evaluation timelines. After reviewing the guidance dated December 21, 2018, and conducting meetings with BSE staff, OSIP directed the BSE to take the following actions. With regard to our federal reporting for SPP APR, since the state of Connecticut has an established initial evaluation timeline, the state was directed to report the state established timeline to OSIP beginning on our February 3, 2020 SPP APR submission for Indicator 11. Please note that 2018-2019 initial evaluation data is reported in 2020. With regard to our evaluation timeline, the procedure of determining a student not eligible after an initial evaluation and then immediately re-referring the student, thereby starting a new initial evaluation, is inconsistent with the IDEA. This procedure is no longer permitted. Initial evaluations must be sufficiently comprehensive. Although an immediate re-referral is no longer permitted, it is important to note that a student may have more than one initial evaluation record reported within a school year. For example, student A is determined not eligible for special education by the PPT following a comprehensive initial evaluation in the fall. In the spring, new information and/or a set of facts is obtained by the parent or the district regarding student A, and a disability is suspected. In this scenario, the district or the parent could initiate another referral for special education, and the PPT could propose conducting an initial evaluation, thus resulting in two initial evaluation records during the same reporting year. Due to OSIP's required actions, the BSE, in collaboration with the Performance Office, determined the following course of action. Data reporting for the current SPP APR submission. The CSDE on February 3, 2020 reported the State of Connecticut timeline to OSIP for the purpose of Indicator 11. Since the 2018-19 data collected within our system was based upon the federal timeline, district-level initial evaluation data was recoded to the state initial evaluation timeline. In order to accomplish this task, the CSDE engaged in a process which required merging the evaluation timeline database with the state's Student Information System, PSIS, and the State Special Education Data System, CDAC, using the state's unique student identifier, SACID. Students within the system who were immediately re-referred after their initial evaluation were coded as beyond the timeline. This process identified 151 unique students out of over 17,000 total records. This is less than 1% of all students referred. This process change should have a limited impact on district data. For the 2018-19 APR, the data on the LEA APR will match the district ET certification confirmation reports. Data reporting for future SPP APR submissions. The 2019-2020 initial evaluation timeline data, which the CSDE reports to OSIP in 2021, will still require recoding, as we have collected federal timeline data up to this point in time and will continue to do so throughout the remainder of the 2020 school year. The 2020-2021 initial evaluation timeline data, which the CSDE reports to OSIP in 2022, will not require recoding because districts will be reporting the state initial evaluation timeline. Expect that the CSDE will update the evaluation timeline data collection to collect the necessary data to determine compliance with the state evaluation timeline. We will share those changes and updates in the spring of 2020. The 2021-2022 data will be collected in the same manner as 2020-21. The CSDE expects to collect the 2022-2023 data within the new statewide special education data system. The state initial evaluation timeline has been a requirement and has not changed since it was codified in our state regulations on April 24, 1991. Here's a quick review of the state evaluation timeline. The timeline begins with the date the special education referral is received and ends with the date the IEP is implemented, 45 school days to complete. For students who are determined not eligible for special education, the evaluation ends with a prior written notice date, page 3 of the current IEP document. The 45 school day timeline may be paused up to 10 school days until parental consent for initial evaluation is received. The 45 school day timeline may also be paused up to 10 school days. Until the parent provides consent for the provision of special education, school days do not include weather-related school cancellations, snow days, professional development days when school is not in session, and vacation days. The following scenarios are allowable reasons for evaluations exceeding 45 school days. Documented requests by parent to reschedule or delay the eligibility determination PPT meeting after agreeing to attend at a particular time and date. Parent repeatedly fails or refuses to produce the child for evaluation. Student hospitalized or extended absence with medical documentation that the student was not available for the evaluation. Student placed in diagnostic placement for the purpose of determining eligibility. Eligibility determination PPT canceled due to inclement weather, emergency closing. Child referred from the birth to 3 system, had a 90-day transition conference, and either had an IEP in place by their 3rd birthday or were found not eligible. Documented agreement to extend the evaluation timeline for the purpose of determining a specific learning disability. Please note, in the case of a child whose IEP calls for an out-of-district placement or private placement, the IEP shall be implemented within 60 days of referral or notice. Okay, thank you once again for joining us this morning. We really appreciate your time. We know how busy your schedules are, and I want to wish you all a wonderful day. Thank you very much.